Hello and welcome to another ASP.NET tutorial. In this tutorial we will going to now look into DetailsView, which is another data control. So I'm using the same form. If I could use the same form, I can simply delete this one and bring in DetailsView and work with the same SQL data source. Just to give you an idea, you can always right click to add a new web form as well, and then you may have to reconfigure your data source by bringing in the SQL data source object. So those steps will going to stay the same. Every time you need to work with a control, you can do so. I can add another control to the same page and tie it also to the same SQL data source. So I'll show you that, and then I can simply remove this one so that you can see both of those things. So I'm pressing enter over here past this control, which is my data list control, and I'm dragging and dropping my details view right underneath it. And here in the choose data source, I'm picking SQL data source 1. The moment I do that, you can see over here that it's all configured for SQL data source. Now if I run this, you will be able to see that I will have both views available to me. Here is my data list view, and right underneath is my details view. However, you will notice that in the details view, I can only see the first employee and not all of them, because that's what the nature of the details view is. Details view is generally used if you want to look at one person at a time. So if you have like 10 employees, but you only want to look at only one employee at a time. That is why we have the special feature in details view called enable paging. So if I have 4 employees, I'm going to get 4 sets of pages. So let's try the same one after this one minor change, and I'm running this, and here you go, that you can see at the top the previous data view, and here we have our paging in the details view. As you are noticing, I'm clicking one item at a time to go through each one of the employees. Okay, now let me also introduce you the formatting options, which is auto format, which is very similar to what you saw in the first one, the data list. You can choose from all these awesome available formats, and then when you pick one, you simply click OK, and that will going to allow you to create this in this format. So now if I run it in Chrome, and here I have my pagination in this format. So let me remove this data list, which I can certainly do so by pressing the delete key. And now let's try it again so that you can see only this in action. And as I go through one page at a time. So that is my details view. Well, in the details view, you can also edit fields by clicking on each one of the fields and going over its properties. You can change the header text, which is the text that get to display over here. You can change some of the other behaviors. I'm going to explore these in more detail in the grid view, but once I do this over here, it will going to be exactly the same way in all the controls that support these properties. So it doesn't really matter if you're using grid view or details view or any other control, the idea will going to stick the same. So I'm going to introduce that in my grid view. So anyway, that's all for this tutorial, in which I wanted to introduce you to the details view, why it is used, how it is formatted, how it's connected to the SQL data source. Well, hope to catch you in the next tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.